is Up for Grabs, a podcast where three unfiltered friends talk about anything and everything. And now, here are your hosts, Tracy, Kim, and Rachel.
Welcome to Up for Grabs. I'm Rachel. I'm here with my friend Tracy.
Hello.
And Kim.
Hello.
And today on Up for Grabs, it's party time. Really is the time that it is.
Every time we're around, it's party time. Pretty much.
I think that's only what we say. But yeah, definitely party time. I came up in conversation because Rob and I actually did recently throw a party that you both came to. I appreciate you showing up to the party, by the way.
A soiree.
It was an outdoor party. Is that qualify as a soiree?
I believe.
Yeah. And you didn't have to wear a dress, though.
I don't know the qualifications.
Well, soiree sounds like it's like prom or something.
It was
I
a
think
party,
you're thinking of a sarong. No?
What?
Sarong is a piece of clothing.
Yeah, I don't think.
Well, she said party dress.
I don't know. Soiree makes it seem like it was fancy.
Swanky.
It wasn't fancy.
No, it wasn't fancy, but it was a nice party.
There was a tent and tables.
And a bartender.
It was kind of fancy.
Okay,
Well,
fine.
not fancy. That's like
Okay,
a wedding
fine.
reception
It
quality.
it was the fanciest
except
party.
for the food. Crap. But
Yeah,
whatever.
I didn't really. Well, here's what I did, and that was on purpose. I'm like,
I know it was.
I'm not feeding these people, so I
I'm
was
on
like,
to you.
what time could you make the party that it would be obvious without me having to say I'm not going to feed you that I'm not going to feed you?
I
I
know.
decided that 7 p.m. means you should have had your dinner, and then you can come to my house and have snacks.
With the
I
amount
know.
of people you
I agree.
invited, that food was not
Fine.
necessary. The free drinks were nice.
The bar was ridiculous.
It was delicious.
I had some sort of lemon drink
It was the Rachel special.
that's what I ordered. Because that's what you told me to order. You said it was lemon. I was like, okay, sounds good.
It's
I
nice
don't
for
even know
Rob
what's
to
in
have a
it.
friend that
That knows what he's doing.
knows, that bartended his whole life.
Yes, he. That was, I think, very much like a lemon drop martini.
Okay.
That's kind of
Supersized because it was big. I thought martinis were just little.
Here's the thing.
I had a
like
lot.
I said,
don't know, it was good.
wasn't a soiree because we did not have proper drinkware for said martini
Oh.
drinks. Like I wasn't going to use any glassware or plastic martini
no,
cups because
somebody
that's
gonna get
dumb.
hurt.
So
Yeah.
everything, no matter what you ordered, was in a red Solo cup.
Yeah.
Which meant
I like
you had
it.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a win.
No.
Okay, fine. So I threw a party, and I realized that I have just my mindset about parties have changed over the years.
Yeah.
I feel targeted by this, but go on.
No, I'm not targeting you,
Go on.
but I'm just saying, like, over the years, like when I was little, I thought having a party, like if you had your birthday, your mom let you host your birthday party and your friends came over, like that was a huge fun deal, like that you looked forward to that.
Yes.
And now as I get older, it's not that I don't enjoy the party part. It's everything leading up to and after the party.
Some people are meant to be hostesses, not I. I don't like any kind of preparation for stuff like that.
Well,
It just when you're the host, it's just I don't think you have as much fun.
Yeah,
Well,
because you have responsibilities. Right?
I had to, someone said, because, the best part, and you can fight me on this, but any party I've ever been to, family party, friend party, whatever, best part of a party, talking about it the next day.
The rehash.
The rehash.
The rehash.
The
Yep.
rehash is the best part of the party.
When I was underage drinking and beyond, some of my favorite times
Oh, absolutely.
were either rehashing at 2 a.m. over pizza or whatever and going over every tiny detail of anything of any guy that spoke to us
Any
at
interaction,
all.
yes.
Any interaction. That had to be discussed. And then possibly the next morning again at breakfast.
And rehashing
or-
with your friends where they'd remember certain things that you didn't remember.
Oh,
And
and the shame and the horror and the hilariousness that came with it all.
Seriously, that was the best.
Mine was never at 2 a.m. whatever. It was always
post-party
the
rehashing.
breakfast.
The
Yeah.
next time.
Oh, my
So
God.
I have to say one story that's not even really kind of a little bit what we're talking about, but it was at a breakfast the next day in my dorm freshman year. And my friend Stephanie had made out with this guy. And then the next day, he walked past her without speaking. And she was super offended. And he acted like he did not know who she was. And she said very quickly, he knew me. And I was like, what? And she said, he knew me. And it made sense, like grammatically, whatever.
Yeah, welcome to college.
But I laughed hysterically in her face at the moment because it was funny, both what she said and how she said it, and that he did that, because everyone knows that happens then throughout life for a little bit every now and then, where somebody acts like they don't know you when they 100% know who you are.
Absolutely.
And so
I wish I could say that never happened to me in the
I
rehash.
like the opportunity to say he knew me.
He knew. Yeah. But hosting the party,
It's tough.
I got to say hi to everyone, because I think that's what you're supposed to do when you're the host. Like,
Yes.
I think acknowledging people walking in is...
Yeah.
As a guest,
Job
I did
number
not say
one.
hi to everyone at your party, but go on.
But that wasn't your job.
Nope.
Your job
And I
was
didn't
to be...
feel obligated in the sense that
your
you
job
did.
was to be at the party.
Yes, I did that.
Okay.
Thank you.
But at the rehash, which is, like I said, the best part of the party, I would felt so
should open
stupid.
a breakfast restaurant and call it the Rehash.
Only for like hungover party
Don't
goers.
tell anyone. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Rehash.
Yeah.
The rehash. Do we only serve hash?
I love corned beef hash.
You do, and you had that.
Yes.
And I made fun of you because I think it sounds gross.
Go on though. I keep interrupting.
Well, now I'm more interested about a restaurant that we're going to be opening. No, but I just felt like I said hi to everybody, but I didn't really talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Because someone was like at the rehash, Rob was like, so what did you find out at the party? And I was like, nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't get past hello with
It's like
anyone.
a wedding reception, really. It's like your own wedding reception. You're so busy making sure that you're cordial to everybody that you don't have real conversation with anyone.
And I was making sure, everybody knew where everything was, and if we had enough of the snacks that you didn't like on the table. And so anyway, that is a disappointing part about hosting. Now, one of the upsides of hosting is that I clean the house. So Rob said if we never invited people over, I would never clean the house. Like, I need like an event
that is
to
when
motivate
it gets the
me.
best.
Yes.
Yeah.
So even though this party was outside in a tent, I knew people were going to have to come in and use the bathroom. I wasn't going to make them use the
You're
the
no
bushes
fool.
or anything. So they were going to have to come in my home. So there was some cleaning that went on that was overdue. So in that sense, hosting the party, the plus is the house finally got cleaned. The minus was I don't think I really got to talk to anybody, but I think people had fun. Because I didn't, no one cried. So like they didn't look like they were having a bad time. There were no fights or anything.
Which is disappointing for me.
Much middle-aged adults.
I don't know. You serve them enough from the bar. There could have been a fight. I don't know what it could have been about.
I don't either, but yeah.
It could have been a fight. So has your attitude, Tracy, I'll start with you. Has your attitude toward going to parties changed over the years?
So what I wrote down was I still like parties. I still don't mind having them. What you kind of mentioned earlier, I feel less obligated in general. Less obligated to talk to people.
Wait a minute, when you have them or when you're just a guest?
Having them or a guest, both.
Okay.
Both. I just feel less obligated in general. I feel less obligated in wearing the right thing. Like back in the day, if I was invited to something, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to wear? Who's going to be there? Now I'd be like,
you're always one for a statement
where
piece.
Where am I coming from? I don't really care. It's like, whatever. Yeah, I don't mind a good statement piece, but nowadays I think I would just show up and be like, whatever. And if you don't want to talk to me, okay. If I'm having a party and I have good snacks, awesome. If not, okay. Yeah.
Maybe you need to go get something to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I really care a lot less about every single piece of it, which might make it more enjoyable in some sense.
Well, I was going to say, I think going along with that, you're right. When I was younger, throwing a party, I would get nervous that either A, no one would come because how embarrassing is that? You have a party and no one shows up. Or B, no one would have a good time. So like you were like, we're really preoccupied about how things were going to go. And as I've aged, I don't really care. I'm like, you can figure out how to have a good time at a party. And if you can't, then why did I invite you to my party to begin with? So,
Right.
So I feel less anxious either way.
Yeah.
Kim, what about you? Do you feel like your attitudes have changed?
Oh, 110%.
How so?
When Joe and I first got married, our house, we had like a core group of friends that our house every Friday night was the party house. Like we took our kitchen table downstairs to the family room.
Oh my God.
Like, I mean, it was just like, it was just a cheap old kitchen table, but it was the party house. And I kind of was OCD, made sure everything looked perfect. Everything was cleaned, had really good snacks, all that stuff. I loved it because I was with people I was comfortable with. And sometimes there were some stragglers, that people would bring a friend or people would, and we did that religiously. As I've gotten older, I do host less, almost non-existent really. And it's not because I don't like, I've gotten a little more anxiety about being around groups of people.
Really?
And I don't know what it is. I like my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And so up until probably 5 or 7 years ago, if I was in those positions, I would overserve myself. And
is that when Fun Kim comes out?
I'm a fun drunk. I truly,
I will second that statement.
I am. I mean, I think that's when I shine the most. And I'm not, because I think that
I'm really on.
I am. And Joe always gets mad at me because he's like, you're not supposed to say that out loud. But I think when I'm past buzz but not too drunk, I am my authentic self. That is so sad, but it's the person I want to be.
Okay.
Like outgoing and would just do anything stupid. Like
Kim is Fun Kim.
I get like a spaz. And when I don't, but it caught up with me. Like
what caught up to you?
Feeling that way because I can't recover anymore because I don't know when to stop. Like I get to the point where I drink and I have a really good time. And then when Fun Kim's out, Fun Kim overindulges and then I hit my brick wall.
Yeah, there's a name for that, but we're not gonna, that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, and I'm just done. Case in point, Yacht Rock at Mallow Run.
Oh my gosh.
I got your son drunk that evening, Sam.
Okay.
And I believe he was underage at that point, which really
what
wasn't.
What are you saying?
What
are you doing?
She was slipping him vodka in his Gatorade or something like that.
Fun Kim was out, and I was like, "Oh, Rachel won't care." I mean, he wasn't. He was out of high school.
Well, I think he was supposed to be our designated driver.
But that's probably the last time that I've overindulged because it took me a good week to recover, and I think my body might be allergic to alcohol these days. I don't know. So now, like I was at your party and I only had like one beer, and when I get nervous, I was around people that I know. Talking and making conversations just not my strong suit with people that I'm not, like small talk. I've kind of gotten out of the habit of small talk, and I get word vomit. I don't know.
Suddenly you're telling them things they don't need to know,
and just things like that. It takes me a while to calm down.
Well, and I actually thought about that because I really think I don't like. It's not that I don't like it, but I just don't know what to say in small talk, especially with people that I don't see very often.
Yes.
I mean, you can open it up with the extremely broad, so what you been up to the past 15 years or, whatever it's been. But I almost put little conversation cards on the table.
Ew.
Oh,
nobody likes that.
Well, you could have benefited from a few conversation cards, okay?
Who likes conversation cards? Really?
Well, who likes small talk?
Who are you? I don't know.
Well, I was just thinking of just like interesting things that you could ask someone that weren't.
It's the literature girl.
What are you doing?
To think of that? I mean, it's just
I don't like the judgment.
Well, it's happening.
I'm just trying to facilitate some fun conversation at my party. I didn't do it, okay?
Are you Michael Scott? Like, what are you talking about?
I don't know. I didn't almost do it, but I thought that it could be a good idea. But
it
then
would be funny
got tired
to have that.
Okay.
Yeah, when you, I haven't been in. I mean, not that I don't see the people that were there were all kind of in our South Side circle, but when you go maybe 1, 2, 3 years without really having any in-depth conversation other than hey, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't care as much, but I don't like to make the small talk.
Yeah.
Well,
It's uncomfortable.
Here, I think is something that comes with getting older. You know, when I see people like that I don't see in person very often, but maybe I'm friends with them on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm going to forget something major that's happened to them, like a parent dying, or, I feel like there's so much little information that I get from all these quote unquote friends on Facebook that I'm going to forget when I actually see the person in person.
Yeah.
To truly have a conversation about said important thing. So I hope I didn't see somebody at the party and just forget to ask about something very...
My parents have been gone a long time. You're good with me.
Okay, thank God. Because I would hate for you to be mad at me.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. Okay. One other question I had is about themed parties. Now, I know you just made fun of me saying I wanted to put conversation starters. So
I love a good theme party.
Oh, I love a themed party.
I love a theme party.
Have you been to a good theme party that you remember?
Yes.
Tell me.
So when Joe, before we were married, he had a roommate and he had a 70s party, and it was one for the record books. It was so fun. I like those. We did a lot of that kind of stuff. A lot of like 70s or 80s.
So you got to dress up and
go to Goodwill and go find all the fun clothes and dress the part, and put decorations up, old like albums and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. So
did you go to a theme party?
So I have a theme party story.
You don't say.
That I think you might enjoy. Probably not. It's not even that big a deal. I really had a big buildup for the thought of it more than the actual thing.
That's okay. What is it?
So we hosted a quinceañera.
Who's we?
Me and the kids for Zachary's sea monkeys. They were 15 days old. Do you remember sea monkeys?
Yes.
Like you would buy a package in the back of a magazine. Remember they used to be like in the back of comic books? I think they're shrimp is what I think.
So they're like, really alive?
They're alive.
Okay.
They're these little things and they have a very short, they only live less than a month. So, and we had them on the kitchen counter in this little container. And so they were going to be 15 days old. So we decided to have a quinceañera, which I don't think is true meaning of the word, but
did you buy a dress?
Something. So I did not buy a dress. We did have snacks. We sent out invites to lots of people. We got a Snapchat filter for the house for that day that said, "Welcome to our Sea Monkeys quinceañera."
You are so dumb.
We had a little card station where people could make cards for them.
Did people come?
We probably had 40 people stop by.
Oh my God.
For the quinceañera.
What? And then how many days after the quinceañera did the thing die?
A couple. Not the thing. There were multiples.
Oh,
they're
you said sea monkey. I thought it was one monkey.
Sea monkeys, multiple. They're like little bitty pieces of rice, really. They're really hard to see. Actually, the little case that they're in has little magnified sections so that you can see a little bit. They're like clear. They're almost invisible.
I was going to say, are you sure there was really anything there?
Look on my Facebook, put my name in quinceañera or my name and Sea Monkeys, and you will see
We'll have to
the
go
photos from the event.
And you say, okay, you said sea monkeys. For some reason, all I can think of are those stupid plastic monkeys that you used to play with that were like this,
Oh, yeah, that is
Oh, yeah,
stupid. You're
games.
thinking of barrel of monkeys.
Barrel of monkeys.
Which would have been a good birthday party gift back in the day.
Oh, especially for the quinceañera.
Yes.
If I would have been invited, that's what I would have been bringing to the quinceañera.
I think that's when I knew that we had a problem. I don't know.
Hey, honey, I knew way before then.
That was the hit. Another fun theme party we had we had a birthday party one year for Justin Bieber's birthday.
Oh,
He did not come. He wasn't actually invited.
What birthday?
I don't know which year it was.
Wasn't his quinceañera.
It was not his quinceañera, but Sam was probably 15 and she was a big JB fan.
Well, yeah.
So there were posters of him hanging. We hung streamers. His favorite food was spaghetti, and his favorite food, or was it color, was purple or grape? I don't know. There was grape
purple
Jello
because
involved.
I know that my girl Maddie especially. I felt like every Justin Bieber thing she had purple in it.
So we had grape Jello in fancy flutes with little umbrellas in them, and
Do you remember, Kim, when we took the girls to see that Justin Bieber documentary movie that came out?
We surprised them.
Did they lose their minds?
How old were they then?
Oh God! I mean, not
Third
middle,
grade?
third or fourth grade. I picked them up. Well, Maddie, I mean, I think Lily, and we said it was after school. We're going to the movies. The screaming that happened. Maddie still talks about that. Like when she reminisces about Justin Bieber, because he was in concert, a couple years ago,
Yeah.
kind of, and we went, and it was just like, I never took her to see him during that. That was before I became a really big concert goer, because I was
Right.
like, she is too young for me to pay hundreds of dollars for a ticket. I wish I would have, now looking back, but that movie made their.
Well, that movie brought up two things that I didn't know, or two things that I was like, what? And I think we were sitting next to each other, and I know I had to elbow you really hard because you know how I like to talk during movies.
Yes.
It showed footage in this movie of him doing a concert at Greenwood High School.
Yes.
And I'm like, what?
What?
Yes.
I mean, way before he was even on the radar.
Wow.
Greenwood High School. I'm like,
Yeah, who knew?
and Lillian kind of looked at me like, really? This is something you were gatekeeping from me? Like he was here and you didn't take me?
But
Yeah,
that was long
it was wrong of
before.
you.
It was probably when they had Vines, like before
Yeah.
TikTok, before anything where you would have even known. The girls
Yes.
were too little to
Well,
know.
I couldn't believe it. And the other thing in the movie that I couldn't believe was that, and I guess saying I can't believe it sounds horrible, but remember the scene in the movie where he and his friends that were 12 and 13 were out eating and they stopped to say grace?
Yeah.
Well, that's very nice.
I mean, I don't want to say that was staged.
Likely.
You didn't.
I don't want to
Likely.
say it.
You're doubting the sincerity of the Biebs.
I think
I
somebody
just-
told him to. Oh,
Yeah.
This would be fun for the little kids. Just pretend that you're going to stop and pray before you eat your McDonald's with your other 4 friends that are 14 and super immature.
They did the documentary well, because I remember leaving there thinking, what a wholesome young man.
Kim fell for it.
He deserves his theme party. And
That's
just
right.
a few years later, all hell broke loose. But I remember thinking, oh, he's so, like, I love that the girls love him.
I'm buying that merchandise right away
Yes,
to
You know what
Lillian.
theme party that just reminded me of,
Oh,
even
no.
though it's not what we're talking about?
What?
At the Y, when they had the High School Musical 2 movie theme party. Were you guys not there with your kids?
No. I remember my
You
kids,
missed it.
girls watching it, but I don't, not
They
going
had
to
a party
the
there in like that little play area right
Yeah,
inside
they
the
used
door.
to have a lot of kids things.
Yes, we have like Polaroids there
Oh
with
my
like a
gosh,
big movie
no,
poster.
I didn't-
I don't know.
But did you remember they did have when Lillian and Maddie were in Brownies? Don't you remember it was the movie that was just on the Disney Channel, so it wasn't like in the theaters. The High School Music, the very first one.
Yeah.
And we had a Brownie troop get together meeting in one of the rooms to turn on the TV and watch it together.
Okay. Yeah,
Do you remember
I
that?
vaguely remember.
such
I
a
just
big
thought maybe
deal.
that was when you fell in love with Zac Efron. I just wanted to know if that was
when she was inappropriately crushing on that
when
young
she
man.
needed the vapors in front of the group of brownies. Mrs. Schaefer, what's wrong?
Pretty sure she did. do that
Stop
back
it.
then.
Because when we saw Shawn Mendes in concert when he was the ripe age of 17, you
I thought
kept
he was
commenting
16.
about his biceps.
He had good
And
biceps.
You
And
were,
he didn't
you
skip
were,
arm
you
day.
were getting all like, it. Yeah.
Okay, well, you're both gross.
Yeah.
So equal
Yeah.
amounts
Oh,
of
and
gross.
you're not gross at all throwing him a party.
For my children's. Anyway.
Well, I don't think I ever really had a themed party that I attended. I can't think of one.
Really? Not in college or anything?
Most
No.
of my birthday parties were themed because my birthday is 2 days before Halloween.
Oh, yeah. That was a perfect
So whether
excuse.
I wanted it or not, my birthday parties were almost always on Halloween, and we just went trick or treating. My parents really pulled
That's
a fast
smart.
one on that one.
No, but that's smart.
Yeah,
That's just
so
them.
it was like, oh, just wait, and then there would be like cupcakes or like cookies, whatever, and then everybody
Bobbing for apples.
you were in, all that stuff.
Ew. Can you imagine?
Popcorn balls my
In the-
grandma made.
In the time of COVID, doing bobbing for apples.
I have pictures when I was little because I don't remember a lot about my birthday parties where we did we had the spoon and we had to pass the egg.
Oh, yeah.
Like from person to person. And
Yes.
there's like a clear picture of like
Okay.
probably like I was in third grade doing that.
Okay. Along those lines, you just unlocked another
Core memory.
hidden memory. And this wasn't even my party. It was my sister's birthday party, and it's when she was in 8th grade. So I was 3 years younger. So I was just kind of, and like the whole class, boys and girls, were invited over to our house. And I was like losing my mind. 8th grade boys coming to our house.
Yeah.
What? And it had nothing to do with me. Let's be clear. I think I was allowed to stay in the house.
Right.
But was not to be heard from.
Right.
I just remember my mom came up with this game to play. And we're going to talk more about games here in a second. That I thought the whole house went up for grabs. For real. She played. She had all of the people at the party, boys and girls, line up, boy, girl,
Okay.
all through like down our hall and in our kitchen. And she gave the very first person an orange, and that person had to put the orange underneath their chin.
Absolutely.
And pass it to the boy next to her.
That was very close to making out.
And that was a popular game to play at
I-
that age, especially.
Okay, first of all, I was like, Mom, what kind of party is this? Like it turned just really racy, really fast. And I have never seen more giggling and boys turning bright red and dropped oranges. I mean, I'll never, now that you said
That
the egg
is,
thing, I'm like,
I don't know if my mom would ever have said, let's play that game, but I do remember playing that game.
you played it.
Oh, yeah. And when I was in older grade school, I think that must have just been a thing.
I have since seen a grown-up version of that on TikTok.
Ew.
Not exactly grown-up, but more grown-up than I would like.
What is
But
it?
It looks like the older sibling of that game,
Ooh.
where people take a plunger.
God bless.
I don't know where you're
hope
going
they just
with
went to
this.
Walmart and bought it. And
Kim's face.
I don't know. I'm just thinking that.
Kim's wasn't
They have
clean lady
they
for
have
crying out
like
loud.
a plunger between their knees with the stick facing forward, and then there's like a roll of toilet paper.
I've seen this.
And you have to pass it to another person with a plunger between their knees and get the toilet paper to go from the one stick to
the
the
other?
next stick. But there's no way to do that without some gyrating and motioning that makes me uncomfortable.
And you can't use your hands?
No, you can't use your hands, Rachel.
That would be such a fun game if you were like drunk. I mean,
Yes.
think about like a college. That seriously would be.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
So there you go.
Okay.
I'm scarred
Well,
by that.
yeah,
Okay.
I am too.
Maybe
Maybe
the
I
grown-up version of Pass the Orange.
I need to
Which was the grown-up version of nothing back in the day. I don't know.
No.
pass the egg.
Oh, pass
On the
the
spoon.
yeah, on the
That's
spoon.
spoon egg.
Yeah,
Nothing,
spoon egg.
nothing inappropriate about that, though.
I hope not. If there wasn't, right over my head. But let's talk about games, because you all know I'm no fun. And up until recently, if you tell me that there were going to be games involved, especially at stuff like bachelorette parties or like baby showers or wedding showers, I'm pissed.
I'm in.
Oh, really? You're the problem.
It depends
I would get
what the
so
party
mad.
is. I don't like
Okay,
baby
one,
shower,
I
wedding
want-
shower games at all.
I want the gift.
yeah.
If there's a prize to be won, I'm in. I want to win the prize.
But what if you don't? Then you had to participate in the stupid game and you didn't get the prize.
I'm willing to cheat. I don't know. Like I like it. I like the opportunity
Okay.
to win. I'm a gambler, so I feel like I feel like the odds are in my favor.
What about you, Kim? Games at a party?
Well, at bridal showers and baby showers, no, because I don't want to be there longer than I have to. I mean, let's be real.
Here's your gift.
I mean, I love.
What's wrong with me that I like going to those?
I hate them.
I'm nothing, no offense to anyone. The new trend my cousins had done where it's a gift display where you bring in a not wrapped, you just put a little bow on it and they have a table that displays all the gifts. It is a beautiful concept because you do not waste time
I
opening
agree.
up
You
the gifts.
don't have to sit there and
then
watch somebody open all
And
their
then if you
gifts.
want to
It's
play a couple
excessive.
games, it's fine because
You haven't been forced to.
You're playing games when you're eating,
Yeah,
and it
I agree.
all just goes that. Because I told my girls, I'm like, that's what, bridal shower, baby shower. That's what we're doing.
That is an excellent
genius idea. I do though love, like you hosted a couple New Year's Eve parties.
Yes.
I love playing games.
And we did play some.
And I do.
I guess I said I'd never been to a themed party. Well, we
Yeah.
did have a 70s.
Yeah, you did.
Game show themed New Year's party.
Just because you wanted to wear your glasses that made you look like what's
Brett
her name?
Summers
Yeah.
from Match Game.
Yeah.
No, I did not have those then.
Ew.
But Rob we played Card Sharks. We played Match Game.
I love playing those kind of
we
games.
played Newlywed Game, which got really, really racy. It
I think
jumped
you
the
guys
rails.
told me about that a
And
little
we played
bit.
with some couples that we really didn't know very well.
That's what I
We
think
know
I heard.
now.
Yeah, too well, but that's all right.
But yeah, and Kim wore a fun jumpsuit, I think, to that. So I don't know if that was.
Yeah,
And you had a little scarf around your neck. You looked adorable. You were killing it. And your husband looked just like Richard Dawson. It was fun. Rob got to use one of those. I had bought him a really skinny microphone that looked like the one that Bob Barker used to use on The
Nice.
Price is Right.
Yeah.
So he, was the whole host thing. He had the music for the show. I mean, we really.
No, that was
we outdid
that
ourselves.
was a lot of fun.
And it was fun to host New Year's only because I never wanted to go anywhere on New Year's. So
Right.
that's it's one time a year I don't mind hosting a party
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I don't want to go out. So
No,
yes.
I like the comfort of being in someone's home
Yeah.
or my own. So yeah, no, I do like that kind of stuff.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad I did something
Good
right.
job.
Yeah, you weren't there.
That one time you did that.
That one time you weren't
That I
there.
was not invited.
We had so much fun, but you weren't there.
It's okay. I was busy.
Do you have because obviously games, we were talking about games. Obviously, college, we played different games like quarters.
Chandeliers, like all
Probably.
You didn't play quarters?
I'm sure I did. I'm sure I
the
did.
now
I
it's
just don't
beer
remember.
pong and
Yeah.
it's graduated. I think they
Right.
do still play a lot of the classics though.
Okay.
Obviously, quarters still is a thing. I think chandeliers is something
But
a
you know
little
what?
different.
Just to prove that I was no fun even in college, those games would always go on. And I wasn't against them, but I wasn't playing them.
Oh, I loved them.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll watch, but I'm not going to be trapped at this table. I need to work the room. I need to get around.
Yeah. Well, you did. You got around.
Here we go. And that's how rumors get started. Okay. That brings up our next
Rumors?
our next topic. Not rumors, but what's your strategy? How has it changed at a party? Are you the wallflower? Are you the life of the party? Are you greeting and meeting everyone? What do you do at a party? What's your go-to party behavior, and how has it changed over the years?
Well, aside from earlier when we were talking about your party that you hosted a couple weeks ago or about a week ago, I don't really go to parties.
Me neither.
I mean, I think we're at an age where it's just maybe.
Are we not invited or do we not go? I don't think I'm invited.
Well, sometimes I'm
I'm
not
not invited, and I don't go.
But I think maybe like milestone birthdays. Our husbands had probably
best.
one of the best parties that I've ever been to.
And
I'm
you
not
threw
saying,
it.
I mean, we threw it. It was their 40th birthday.
And it was fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
Can't top it.
I mean, that was probably one of the funnest. Yeah. Since being in high school or college, definitely.
So you don't feel like your behavior or your
I don't drink as much.
okay.
Right. So we're less fun.
I'm definitely a lot more mature.
Which brings us to it. Yeah, we'll get to things that weren't mature. Tracy, do you have an evolution of your behavior at parties?
No, I think I was pretty fun when I was younger.
What was your MO? What would you do?
I was out in the middle of everything,
Okay.
as you might guess. Mm, yeah.
And how has that changed?
I don't feel like I am. I'm a bit of a wallflower now.
Me too.
I think.
Well, one thing that I do, and you guys have seen it, and you'll have to just tell me honestly just
I know
how
what she
awful
does.
it is. But for some reason, when I'm at a party or out socially, I enjoy talking to strangers more than I enjoy talking to people that I know.
Nashville's
you've
a good
seen-
example.
I was going to say, are we talking about Nashville in
Well,
general or?
Nashville is just an extension of what I've been doing since college. In college, oh my gosh, send me to a place where I know no one, and I will have the best time just making ridiculous conversation with any poor person that happens to be walking by me.
I wonder what a psychologist would have to say about that. Like, what does that mean?
I don't know, but I love, and you guys saw it. If I drink more than one drink, and really at this point, I don't even think I need any. But if I see somebody and they're like doing something or wearing something or something, I'll just go up and say it.
You sure will.
And then we become best friends.
Yeah.
And then they leave and roll their eyes and say, oh my God, I can't believe that
And then
middle-aged
you
lady
don't
made
care
me talk to
anyway.
her the whole
Yeah,
time.
and you don't care. And the beautiful thing is that you're not going to stress
You're like,
about it.
Don't care.
Yeah, no, I think so. That's a weird behavior that has not changed for me.
Okay.
I've always been the let's talk to random people and see what happens.
Yeah, no, I am now the let's not talk to people we know person.
Wow. Okay. Well, then
Is that a thing?
you sound like a ton of fun at parties.
Thanks.
Thank you. But Kim struck on something else that I want to talk about. Every person probably has a party that they remember for either a mishap that happened or something funny or something, really the mishap is more funny than something just generally funny. But I don't know, do you feel as though either of you can share a party memory that was a memorable moment without getting yourself in too much trouble?
No. It will all lead to trouble.
No.
I'm an open book.
Tell us, Kim.
So, I mean, most people that are close to me know this story, but there are a few listeners that happen to be my mom's friends that probably have no knowledge of this story. But in high school, my aunt and uncle lived in the same neighborhood that we lived in, and this was when they first were married. They didn't have any kids, and my mom and dad were going on a weekend away to celebrate their anniversary, and so they were just I was a junior in high school, but they just supervise. Somebody put in my ear that, hey, let's have a few people over at your aunt and uncle's house after the football game and just drink and have fun. It turned into being like
the party of the century,
like an unbelievable, huge, out of control, freaking party.
Sounds like every 80s movie.
Say
Yes,
less.
that, unbeknownst to me, the neighbors knew what was going on. And like, as we were leaving the party, we had to get all the trash out of there, and they were dumped in neighbors' yards because you have a bunch of drunk high schoolers that don't know what to do. So a couple days later, my aunt and uncle were outside, and the neighbor was like, well, boy, that is one hell of a party you guys threw the other night. Put two and two together, and I got busted for the party.
That neighbor would be getting egged ASAP.
Yeah. And I still to this day can drive by
Snitches
that.
get
He
stitches.
still lives
That's
there.
right.
Not my aunt and uncle, but the neighbor still lives there. I can still drive by and think, you snitch.
Let's egg them.
I was just saying, you want to go do it?
Snitch. But needless to say, I was grounded for an eternity. I ruined my relationship with my aunt and uncle for a while.
Yeah.
It's patched up now. They have grown kids that have kids, and they only found out about it like in the last few years. And I think they were stunned because I was a follower. Somebody give me an idea, go ahead and do it. And that's that.
Well, it sounds like a good idea on paper.
And it was fun at the time, and it makes for a great story now.
You were a legend, and I am not even mad. I say good for you, Kim.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing that's also marvelous about your situation is that if it would have happened in today's time, you would have been expelled from school.
I would have, definitely.
But back in the day, it was just shame on you. And it was not the school's business what happened outside of school hours.
Oh, 100%. A lot of kids would have been expelled.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been probably in the news.
Yeah.
I mean, if you,
We had one summer, I think it was during high school. Like at the end of high school, I don't know. But there was a girl, a friend of ours, who like had a party 3 nights a week. I don't know, 4 nights. It seemed like every night. I don't know if her dad was gone.
Yeah, had to have had parents that worked nights
she
or
had
something.
kegs. Like we would get a keg and they would last a day or two.
I had
and
friends
then
that had those kind of
we would
parties.
get another keg. And
What?
It was just one thing after another after another. That's where I got my ears double pierced. I did them myself in her kitchen with a potato and a safety pin. So sometimes when I put in my second earrings, I think of that and her parties.
Fondly, yes.
Yeah, there was always a couple families that had probably the youngest of, a ton of siblings. Their parents were working or whatever. Yeah. High school parties are way, way different nowadays than they used to be.
Yeah.
I think they're a lot more careful, a lot more secretive, a lot smaller.
Well, people get sued. You didn't get sued
for crying
back in
out
the
loud.
day.
You're risking like your athletic
parents'
future,
house.
your
Yeah.
everything,
College admission.
college admissions, everything because it's no tolerance.
I was not a drinker in high school.
I wasn't until my junior year, which is nothing to brag about, but I'm saying that like I was pretty tame.
No, but I'm glad
until
well, you guys were talking about high school. Like the west side and the south side must have been super wild. Every side of town there's drinking.
but
I just didn't hang
kids
out with
drink
people
in high
that
school,
did.
whether you want to believe it or not.
Okay.
So since the people that I hung out with didn't really, I didn't.
Yeah.
But I'd say by my senior year, I didn't go to any parties per se, but senior skip day was at the track. Did you guys do that? Was that a thing?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Were we all there at the same? Do we all do it on the same day?
Not on the same day, probably not, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, senior skip day was always at the track.
Definitely.
Okay, well, that's one time in high school that I drank. I think it was Bartles and James. I'm not going to lie about that.
Nice.
Yeah, that was
they
popular.
were delicious.
Yes, very
But
delicious.
It's when I found out that when I drink any amount of alcohol that I talk to strangers, because I was talking to every single person at my high school that I had never spoken to in 4 years because
Yeah.
I didn't say anything. And then I found myself smoking a cigarette and having a Bartles and James with people I don't know.
Our trick to buying Bartles and James wine coolers in high school was that because you didn't get carded like you do now.
No.
But to make sure that you would not get carded, we would buy a couple things of baby food and then go through at the grocery store with the wine coolers.
That's a smart idea.
We were
What?
smart.
We just always
and
pick-
then we would just pitch the baby food when we got out to the trash can once we got
Why'd
there.
you do that for show?
So they thought we were older.
We just picked guys that had facial hair to go in. They just never got carded. There's
Well,
always
if you
guys
do
in
it
your
yourself,
class
sometimes
that
you
look like,
me having a mustache wasn't going to help me.
hello, sir. How can I?
Kind of, sir.
Well, I worked at a grocery store and in high school, and people would come.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
Me
and
too.
you weren't supposed to touch the alcohol because
Right.
you couldn't even scan it.
Correct.
they
But-
put it in the old styrofoam cooler.
Oh, they'd
Scan
fly
the
it
cooler.
through. Oh my God, yes. Yeah.
Yep.
That's good times.
I might have seen people put cases of beer on the shipping dock out back. Who worked
For
there
people just to
come by and
drive
grab?
by.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, shoot, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And it's free that way. So.
Yeah. You're not paying for it.
I like the freeness of it all. Were there any memorable party moments for you?
As a kid,
Anytime.
okay, one memorable party as I want to say I was in 5th or 6th grade, but I had my birthday party at Farrell's Ice
Oh,
Cream.
my God.
I
Yes,
think it
I
was
had
at
one there,
Castleton.
too.
I think it was at Castleton.
I did that for my
Yeah, we
13th.
had one in Green.
Oh,
We had
13?
one in Greenwood.
So
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. Super fancy. Where you got the big silver bowl of
Oh, yes.
A million scoops of
all
ice cream?
scoops of ice cream. I don't even know what was in
They
there.
came out with a big, almost like a band.
Yes. And
That was
sang-
their big thing to
Yeah. And
awesome.
Prior to Chuck E. Cheese, it was what was it called? When you said big and a drum, big time band, something big time band, or
What the hell are you talking about?
it wasn't Chuck E. Cheese. It was something else.
Oh, maybe that was just the
Something
West Side.
America, great something.
Big damn band? I don't know what you're
No,
talking about.
But there were
Paramount
bears,
Music Palace.
not Paramount, but close.
This is dope.
There were bears, animatronic
Ew.
bears. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, I was going to say that doesn't.
Showtime.
Oh my God, you're right.
Thank you.
No, Showbiz.
Showbiz. Yes.
Showbiz was before Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes.
That was the predecessor.
Showbiz. Showbiz walked.
It was
so Chuck E.
Showbiz
Cheese
Pizza
could run.
Palace.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I have one token from Showbiz. I forgot about it. It's in it. I have some little coin things, and one of them is from Showbiz.
Wow.
With all of your other valuables.
No wonder I can't find anything.
God, I really thought you were just thinking wow, that must have been a West Side restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope, definitely.
Yeah,
It was next to the place with the big catalog, service merchandise.
Oh my God, I love service merchandise.
Me too.
So I'm unlocking all kinds of memories.
Oh yeah, Paramount
Yeah.
Music Palace too was.
Oh, with the Mighty
God.
Wurlitzer? Are you kidding
God,
me?
that was the best.
It would rise up
got to
from the
request
floor.
songs.
And then the bears. Now, do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Gone are
Thank
the
you.
days of those kind of places.
Yeah,
now
kids-
it's kind of scary to go into Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know.
Well, that
Pizza's
just
still
not,
delicious.
Just not my thing. The
kids
pizza is good.
Well, kids are just not as easy to wow anymore.
no.
It's. I mean, if they've seen
Which
the Taylor
is not
Swift
their
show,
fault. It is really amazing. The world has gotten pretty amazing.
better
Yeah.
than mangy animatronic gorillas.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, kids, thank you for going down memory lane with us. It was party time.
Yes,
Those
it
were good
was.
times, especially since we didn't have cell phones to worry about. That
And
also
I
kept
still
us out of
didn't tell
jail.
any stories, so I'm pretty proud of
Are you
that.
proud of yourself?
I am.
Tracy's proud that she did not regale you with any truths or stories about any fun she ever had at a party. If you would like to share with us any great party memories that you've had, we're always down for that. And if you enjoy listening, please make sure you share it with your friends. And we will see you next time on Up for Grabs.